Hey everybody, I'm Jeremy, and this is Telon Times, the show all about the classic MMORPG Vanguard, Saga of Heroes. I know it's been a little while since I've done a Telon Times. I didn't quit, I'm still doing them. I'm just taking a small break for IRL stuff. But I had to jump back in and really find time to do a new one here because Vanguard is now free to play. So technically, the official launch is next week, which will be August 14th, and but everything's set up and running. As far as I know, it's exactly how it's pretty much going to be next week. And so we can take a look at the station store. We can talk about some of the changes and whatnot. But so there, if you already have jumped in, you'll notice since it went free to play, you'll notice the station cache button in the bottom right. So we're going to go ahead and check this out. This is the new station cache store for Vanguard. Looks a lot different just aesthetically from EverQuest 2. This is my first time looking at it, so I didn't go through a practice speech or anything here. So we're just going to look at this fresh and see how everything goes here. Now, station cache, I believe, is roughly 500 points for $5 American. So that should give you an idea of what monetary value everything in the station store here holds. Right away, we see on the front page that loads up, we see things, class unlockers. So we could unlock the Psionicist class. If you watched my last Telon Times, you'll know that I did an episode about what will be in the matrix, the pricing matrix, what will free players get, what will they be locked out of, and of course there's restrictions on classes and races, and it looks like right away the Psionicist is definitely one of the classes that will be locked out, but you can purchase it, looks like. That doesn't seem too bad. This looks like it's basically a little over $5 and for that. I see right away there's building blocks here, a block that can be placed in your home. Metal building block. I'm not quite sure what these building blocks are. A block that can be placed in your home. I mean, the name makes me think that it's for building. It's for just buying building material, I'm thinking. I don't know how that's going to work because crafting is a big thing in here, and crafting the components for your houses and stuff is kind of a big deal. Here's Caster's crate of supplies. Pretty expensive. I don't know what's in this one. It's not telling us, but anyone who's familiar with any free-to-play MMO in the past, these are probably bulk items. It's probably like a whole list of kind of getting started playing the game, so it's probably a list of a lot of different things. Perhaps perhaps a XP boost for limited time, along with maybe anything obviously caster related. And here's Caster's crate 2, 3, 4. Charm of Escape whisks you and any group mates within 15 meters to safety. That's kind of interesting. You can use it 3 times for 90. So tons of stuff. Just looking right here. I'm assuming we're looking at everything, but we can go through and look at. We'll skip new items because pretty much everything's new. We can look at the individual categories here. So here's services. Here's a class unlocked for the Bard, Blood Mage, Dread Knight, and let's see, Druid, Paladin, Ranger, Shaman. Gender change, that's interesting. Greater Potion of Advancement. This is probably an experience boost. Increase adventuring, crafting, and diplomacy XP gain by 50% for 2 hours. That's pretty standard in lots of free-to-play games. Minor Potion of Advancement. Potion of Amnesia. Okay, allows you to change your name. Wow, that's pretty hefty for a name change. I suppose you're not going to be doing it very often. so I suppose there's a greater value placed on that. Potion of Disgenderment. That's not going to tell me what it is. It allows the user to change their gender and modify their customization options. That's not too bad. Removes all the user's experience debt. Okay, this is interesting. Runes of Magic is a game that has experience debt, which they very well could have borrowed it. I don't know for sure if they did or not, but it does resemble Vanguard's experience debt system fairly closely. And I mean, they even called it experience debt. You lose a bunch of experience points. You have a tombstone. You can get it back and get most, but not all, your experience back that way. And if you don't get your experience back in Runes of Magic, from that killing mobs from then on, you have that debt. You don't just lose the experience. You actually go into like a debt system, and then killing from then on, 70% of the experience you gain goes to pay off the debt, while the other 30 continues to be applied to your regular experience bar. And of course, Runes of Magic has an item, they just call them, I think, God's Redemption Ticket, which basically completely wipes out experience debt. Now, this is interesting also because this is only 90 station cash, which seems fairly reasonable here. I believe the redemption tickets are a little bit pricier comparatively. It's going to be hard to really compare because they're very different games, but in Runes of Magic, experience debt has more meaning, I think, and therefore the item, I think, is a little more expensive compared to other Runes of Magic items. Allows the user to remove the soul-bound flag from an item that was bind on equip. We went from one interesting item to another very interesting item relating to Runes of Magic again. One of the interesting things ROM did was they released unbinders and advanced unbinders in their cash shop. And so there were some items that were bind on equip and other items that are bind on pickup. And in Runes of Magic, you could buy a regular unbinder, which is the cheaper of the two, and it would work on bind on equip items. Now the advanced unbinder cost more money, and you could spend it on bind on pickup. And of course, in Runes of Magic, bind on pickup were always tended to be the better armor pieces that you found in the dungeons. Remove membership restriction from an item. That's interesting. Race change. That's pretty pricey, but that's, lets you change your race. Race unlock. A lot of race unlockings. I'm going to start speeding up through this stuff here. Superior Potion of Advancement. I'm really just blown away of how similar a lot of these items are to Runes of Magic's items in ROM's cash shop. And I know most games have these experience boosters and stuff, but even the way they're called, even the name of them and what they do, that bind on equip thing remover, that's really, really interesting. That's probably the most interesting to me so far. Here, unlock a character slot. That's cool. Witness protection pack allows the user to change their name, gender, allows them to change their customization options. Okay, let's look at nothing's appearing in there. Ooh, now this is interesting. Mounts and pets. Oops. We can't get a preview. Oh wait, yes we can. Maybe. maybe not. Look at already they're doing a sale. The Dark Rider's Wolf Spider, huh? Now let's see, required level 1. So you can get this right out the gate at level 1. A Wolf Spider. This is really, really interesting. And since I'm comparing the Runes of Magic already, I might as well not stop now. Mounts are a big deal in Runes of Magic. Probably the second biggest deal, in my opinion. The first would be the gear system. Everything surrounding the gear system in ROM, which would be the Purified Fusion Stones, stats, the Unbinders. But second to that would be mounts. Mounts are crazy in Runes of Magic. They have many varieties, and they're cool, and they're just really fun to have, and you can get a wide variety of them. Now there are level restrictions. The Drake Riders, Ice Drake, you have to be level 50, and of course level cap's 55. A large-sized ship. So you can buy ships. That's really cool. It's interesting because that's another thing that crafting really played a big part in. Was not just housing. You can't. Crafting played into housing, the guild halls, and the boating. And you needed many items. You needed to craft, and you had to rely on different professions. You couldn't, one single crafting profession couldn't do all of any one thing. Like literally, you have to, every single thing you want to get done, you have to have, at least another person to help out with. But this is letting you buy a ship. You can buy medium-sized Kojani Captain's Caravel, Kojani Sailor Sloop. Now that's a tiny one. That's a small one. The Admiral's Galleon. I don't know if that's the biggest type or not, but that's really interesting. Here's a War Griffin. You need to be level 50 plus 200 mount speed. This section here of mounts and pets is really, really interesting. And I can see already they put the boats in with mounts. I was wondering how they were going to handle this, because they hadn't really talked about boating much. They did mention housing, and the free players can't own houses, but they never mentioned boats, and they still haven't really, but we can see here we can buy boats. So these are pets here. This is interesting. Vanity Pets. Wolf Rider's Okami. This is cool. A Wolf Rider's Okami. Activated ability, Call Warbred Okami. A mount ridden by the Wolf Riders of Martok. I might have to buy that because I saw that. I was in Martok a long time ago, and I saw the wolf mounts they were on, and I thought that was so cool. So I think already I'm going to be succumbing to to the cash shop. Let's see, here's more Vanity Pets. Let's move along here. Let's get to some really interesting stuff. Well, here's appearance. We'll skip that. Let's get to some really, really interesting stuff. Oh, I see. This is all under appearance. We want to skip down to equipment. So here we have, looks like bags. Nice size bags. Not too expensive. A little under $5 for 60 slot. More 60 slots. So some of the preview is working. It's not letting me rotate the preview, but it's letting me take a peek at the stuff. I don't know if anything's really being activated here. Now here's the 80 slot, and look what they're doing to you. They're tempting you. 50 station cash less for the 80 slot than it is for the 60. Why wouldn't you go for that? Oh, now that's cool. They're gonna. I like what they did with these item sets in EverQuest 2. I think they have some really neat looking ones. I can see already that they're already going to be a good selection to choose from on these. Okay, so let's go down to, what do we want, fighter gear? Nothing in there, so let's skip down to housing, nothing in there. Illusions, this is under appearance, so we've got things like petamorph, dire bear, so this lets you like basically change form, and that's really cool. And they're not very expensive, 80, 90, 90s. And what's this one? Visage of Chaos. This one's really expensive. Still, though, that's pretty cool. And I didn't even consider this before the free-to-play transition when we were speculating. This is really interesting. Okay, so that's enough of looking at that, I think. And as you can see down below, you can redeem your codes right in game. You can claim your items here. You can buy more station cash here. Opens up a commerce web window right here, maybe. There it is. So it looks like PayPal, credit card, mobile. Here you can even enter a game card, promo codes. So that's a look at the brand new station cash store in Vanguard, Saga of Heroes. That's going to do it for this edition of Telon Times. I'm going to try to get another one in next week. Telon Times, Telon Times' typical schedule is every Sunday, but like I said, things have been just hectic for me, so that schedule is a bit topsy-turvy right now. But look for it every Sunday. You can also tune in to Dungeoneered, which is all about player-made dungeons and housing. In EverQuest 2, I do every Friday, and then every Saturday I have User, which is all about user-generated content in different MMOs. And you can always find me on Facebook at facebook.com/justonemore, spelled MMORE, and my blog is justonemore.com, spelled MMORE, and you can always find me on Twitter too. I'm on Twitter a lot. I'm at Jeremy_Stratton, and all those links and more information will be in the description below. And I will see you guys next week for the official launch of the Vanguard free-to-play transition.